The black box. Exactly. The black box still hasn't been found to this day. They have no idea where it's at. So it could have been a black box. Or, here's another theory. Maybe it was a piece of the plane that has in it from a machine gun shot down, or maybe burned up from it being blown up.
That's good.
But the only thing I can really think of is the black box, you know?
Yeah, that would have a ton of evidence on it. So much.
Yeah. So that's, oh man, that was good when I found, I was like, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but it'll definitely go into my theory later.
I thought that was good. So I guess we roll into really theories now. Who wants to go over the first one? I mean, or roll into it. We jump into it.
I think I'll fly into it, actually.
9/11 it. I like it.
Make sure you have your transponder on.
So one theory that we found was that the pilot committed murder-suicide. Because you did tell me that he had problems. Because I thought that the pilot didn't appear to have any mental health issues. But you said he had.
There was two pilots. There was the young one who, this was his last flight having to be overseen by somebody. After this flight, he got his official solo flying license. And he had no problems or anything. Then there was the older pilot who had been flying for years. He had just gotten caught being unfaithful to his wife. And his wife just filed for divorce. And he wasn't having a good time. It kind of rolls into the theory that there's been history of past pilots committing suicide and taking down entire planes. And I guess before we go into the theory of how they would have done that, I guess let's talk about a few of the ones that have happened. I mean, there was Germanwings Flight 9525, right? On March 24, 2015, the aircraft disappeared off of radar over the French Alps. The pilot went to go to the bathroom, and when he left, his co-pilot, Andreas Lubitz, he locked him out of the cockpit. And Andreas had previously been treated for suicidal tendencies and declared, quote unquote, unfit to work by his doctor. But Andreas kept this information from his employer, and instead he decided to go ahead and go to work. So on this day, when the plane reached the cruising altitude, and when the main pilot left, of course, which we talked about earlier, to go to the bathroom, Andreas made a controlled descent right down into the mountains, killing all 144 passengers and 6 crew members. So he straight up dive bombed it right into the Alps. That's just one of the example that this has happened before. A pilot has committed suicide with everybody on board. And I think there was a couple, I think there was another one, wasn't there, Dan? Something about like a Egypt flight or something?
Yep, it was Egypt Air Flight 990. The pilot, Gamil Albatouti, flew the plane into the Atlantic Ocean, killing all 270 people on board. In the recordings recovered from the crash, they can hear Gamil say something in Arabic referencing death. They believe this all happened because he was seeking revenge on his employer because he was being charged with sexual misconduct.
So yeah, see, there is proof of pilots committing murder-suicide, right? And it could have been the older pilot. You know, he was getting a divorce from his wife. He was caught playing the field of, women. So he could have been like, F it, I got nothing else to live for. The young pilot goes to the bathroom just like that other pilot on the German flight. Guy just turns off the transponders, locks the cockpit, flips something to make all the passengers and all the crew members get hypoxia and all die. Because when those masks drop, not many people know this. When those masks drop, you have 10 to 15 minutes of breathing. The mask automatically gets dropped when the air pressure, when the cabin depressurizes. You only have 10 to 15 minutes of air in that, or oxygen in that. After that, you have nothing. It's done.
Wow.
The pilots are given longer than the passengers. Passengers 10 to 15 minutes. The pilots got a lot longer. So could have been a murder-suicide. He killed everybody in the plane and then turned around and drove that bitch on autopilot for as long as he could until he passed out. And then the plane was traveling by itself on autopilot. Because those planes, 99% of the time, they can land themselves, they can take off, they can fly pretty much by themselves.
Yeah, and it showed that they went another 6 hours after their last sighting.
Yeah, so it ran out of fuel.
Yeah.
How freaky would it have been if, he killed everybody on board and then he only had, 30 minutes to an hour of oxygen, and then he passed out and died, and then it was just a plane on autopilot for 6 hours or 8 hours just flying by itself with everybody dead on board.
Oh, that's creepy.
That's scary to think about. Yeah,
that makes me think of that movie Ghost Ship.
What would they do if the military knew that happened or somebody knew that happened? What would you do? Do you send some people down on top of it as do you get Tom Cruise and get him to get on top of it and crawl in and try to take over the plane? I mean,
okay, so I think that what they would do, because it would be our military, like you said, I think what would happen, military would hack the plane, overrun controls, and redirect it so it did land in the ocean or a landmass that they had control of or something.
Possible.
I know I'm going to talk about this in a minute, so I'm keep teasing and teasing, but we're going to get into some stuff still. Don't you guys worry.
Yeah. So you want me to move on to the next theory?
Do it, my friend.
All right. So this next theory is called hijackers. So this theory has been fueled by two interesting passengers on the plane. So among the passports, 2 of them were stolen. One belonging to an Austrian, Christian Kozel, and the other, Luigi Maraldi of Italy. They had been entered into Interpol's database after they were stolen in Thailand. The tickets to these 2 passengers were bought by a man named Mr. Ali from Iran. Ooh. He called the travel agency asking to book the cheapest flights. They were one-way tickets as well, just the same as the 9/11 attacks. The travel lady tried to call the number back to contact Mr. Ali, and the number was dead and disconnected.
That's fishy, man, I gotta say. So those things only fueled the fire of being a possible hijacking. There was one senior police officer who said people armed with explosives and carrying false identity papers had tried to fly out of Kuala Lumpur in the past. Quote, he says, "We have stopped men with false or stolen passports and carrying explosives who have tried to get past airport security and get on the plane." He then says, "There have been 2 or 3 incidents, but I will not divulge the details." Man.
Yeah, I mean, there was people in the past that did try to do that at the airport in Kuala Lumpur. But the 2 people that did have the stolen passports on the plane in MH370, people are saying that they were Iranians and that they were trying to seek, what is it when you seek refuge? Seek asylum, that they were trying to seek asylum in a different country and they needed to escape safely. And that's why they got those passports. But man, that's got to suck. You're like, oh, I got to escape death. I don't want to get killed over here in Iran. And then next thing you know, fuck, I'm dead anyways.
Yeah, one of the Iranian passengers, he was actually, they were taking a roundabout away to their destination. And one of their destinations was actually Germany, where one of the Iranian guys' mother was actually waiting for him. Yeah, so they actually found the mother and asked her, and they're just like, yeah, I've been in contact with him, and, he's been trying to get away, get here to us. I wasn't able to find anything on the other guy, though.
Man, it's sad.
Yeah. All those people waiting at the airport for their loved ones that never show up. So sad.
It is. All right, Anna, what's this theory you have? Or hypothesis, or whatever?
Well, I was finding some dots that were connecting, and I came across this guy called Jeff Wise, and he had this theory, so I felt like I had to share it with you guys. So remember when I told you to paperclip the MH17 earlier and possible connections to the MH370?
The one that was shot, the MH17, the one that was shot over Eastern Europe by Russia?
Yep, that's the one. Well, I'm going to have Dan start to go over some stuff we found that Jeff Wise came up with as to how these 2 incidences connect. So Dan, what do we got?
All right. So we came across the guy, Jeff Wise. He found some, connections. And there were two events. Well, we first off found a short video of him briefly discussing this, but there was two events that are extraordinarily similar. Both Boeing 777s, both Malaysia Airlines, both resulted in the presumed deaths of over 200 people, and neither have been convincingly explained. At the start of the 2014, there were airlines, 777s, in the world out of a total around 19,000 commercial airliners.
Considering the 777s have a near perfect safety record and then none have ever been lost to in-flight mechanical failure, the chances of both of these incidences being a coincidence are relatively low. MH370 investigator Jeff Wise, who we spoke about earlier, suggested an alternate narrative to the one that has been put forward, that it is not in fact a coincidence and that Russia was in fact responsible for both tragedies.
His theory is Russia planned to hijack. My Siri just tried to kick on.
Oh, shit.
I think it's because of how I said his theory sounded like, hey, Siri.
Hey, Siri.
Yeah.
Oh.
I let her pass on that one. That was close enough. His theory is Russia planned to hijack MH370. It flew north and then ended up in Kazakhstan, which was a very close ally of Russia at the time. This is partly backed up by the satellite data, which suggests southern Kazakhstan is a potential alternative destination to the Indian Ocean. What's more is Kazakhstan was the only government to openly back Russia over the annexation of Crimea, and it was a perfect landing site, the Baikonur Cosmodrome. When it comes to MH17, Mr. Wise argued, as Russia dispatched the Bak unit that shot it down, it bears the moral and legal responsibility for that act.
Finally, the aviation expert explained how there was an extraordinary similar sequence of events that happened in the run-up to both MH370 and MH17. On March 6th, U.S. President Barack Obama imposed sanctions against Russia in response to its interference in Ukraine. On March 7th, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov responded by saying that sanctions would, quote-unquote, inevitably hit the U.S. like a boomerang. And the next day, MH370 went missing.
Suspicious?
Yeah, just a little bit. On July 17th, President Obama announced new sanctions against Russia, and Vladimir Putin responded with a public statement warning that sanctions, quote-unquote, generally have a boomerang effect. The next day, MH17 was shot down, and Mr. Obama actually found out from President Putin while on a telephone call with him. Dude, talk about coincidences. Oh my God, what the fuck?
Could you imagine the excitement of Putin on the other end of that phone when he's just waiting to be told, it's good, it's good. And then he gets to say, Obama, your plane has been bombed.
I told you before. Boomerang, bitch.
Oh, that was good, Dan.
I bet people assume the connection even more with it being said that there were 3 Ukrainian Russian passengers and maybe they helped hijack the plane or helped make it disappear. Like, damn, dudes, these events have so many eerie similarities.
Yeah, they do. It is so odd.
Do you have any personal thoughts or hypotheses to add to these interesting connections we found?
I mean, I have a personal theory, but we haven't really touched on any of the stuff when it comes to my theory, okay? My theory is going to kind of be new, all right? Does anybody else want to touch on their theory before I touch on mine? I mean, because mine goes a little way off in the left field, okay? It's a little way out there. I mean, it involves a guy sticking a phone up his ass.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I could do mine if you'd like, because it is most like the Russia did it.
Yeah.
That works.
So I was seeing the connections between MH17 and MH370. And then, of course, when I read the Obama boomerang effect, I was like, okay, this is way too much of a coincidence to not have some sort of connection.
Yeah.
I just couldn't shake that fact. So I started to kind of dig into it a little bit more. I felt like it was a connection a lot of people didn't think about. I spent hours and hours and hours looking about this topic and never once saw or thought about another plane going down, being connected in a 4-month span between them. So weird. I mean, how else would you make a statement that the same person did it, other than attacking the same kind of plane twice? So I hypothesize that this was a statement to our government of how easy it would be for them to take control of us and how unprepared we are if they were to do that. Showing that in less than 24 hours, they can, 1, get a team on board to possibly hijack a plane and have all the credentials ready to do that, or 2, do a digital hijacking and reroute the plane to another place. Should we be more worried about Russia's capabilities than they lead us to believe? Or do we have some badass weapon defense we aren't privy to, where our government feels so confident in ourselves that even Russia doing that didn't shake us?
The whole thing with Russia, like we were talking about earlier, and this happened, the MH17 happened with Obama, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at Obama's track record with Boeing, he's made a statement saying he should get a gold watch when he retired because of how many Boeing airplanes he sold. His executive on the aviation board was all Boeing past executives. He has a close tie with Boeing. Like, he's the most tightest president with Boeing ever.
Interesting.
Boeing brought him in because each year they have a motivational like get together in Arizona, kind of like the Bohemian Grove, except for Boeing. So they paid him millions of dollars. Boeing did, to come in and give a speech. And it's like, okay, I can see it now.
I think you do have some sort of connection starting there. That's interesting dots to connect.
I mean, let's see. I think one of my theories for Theories Thursday was Obama was part of the CIA.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that kind of, floats into your territory, Aaron, with your theory coming up, right?
Not with Obama.
No, but being part of the CIA, but then CIA.
Oh, them doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but let's chit-chat a little bit about Anna's little theory, because I want to dig a little deeper into this.
Dig a little deeper?
Anna, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that we have some badass weapon defense? Like, you question us, that our government feels so confident that Russia is like, ooh.
We are cocky for some reason. I mean, obviously we've showed that we can fight wars and do well in them. We're always trying to be up on technology, but I wouldn't be surprised if we do have something that's alien type technology. And we have no fear of anybody doing anything, which is why we are like a dictatorship here lately.
We are like a dictatorship. Which brings up the question, is this all just a show for us? Behind the curtains, everybody, all the world leaders are shaking hands and they're all having cocktails. Just like Trump will go up on stage and like bash Hillary at the last election. But before that, they were like good friends. He went to Chelsea Clinton's wedding. And I mean, part of me thinks this is all just a show. And behind the scenes, they're all just like, let's see how we can make this show as entertaining as we can for the aliens in outer space. And see who survives season 2 of Earth.
It's not looking good for Earth for season 2.
All the aliens are like, yes, Aaron survived season 2 of Earth. Yes.
I wonder if aliens look at us and see how many ways we're capable of dying. If they think we're stupid creatures, because, I mean, we could die in a car accident. We can die walking by a construction zone and a piece of random material falls and crushes you, Some dude here where I live was driving on an on-ramp and someone above hit the wall and it was made out of concrete and it broke the concrete, fell down and landed on top of the car going up the ramp and killed that guy. Like, he was not expecting that. I mean, I don't know where I was going with that, but...
I like it. I'll leave it in.
Like, literally, that just reminded me of the guy that he was driving his car and during a hurricane, and the hurricane broke off a branch of a tree, and the branch literally just impaled him in his car while it was moving.
Damn, that's some Final Destination stuff right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why, but it reminded me of that.
Y'all guys ready to hear my theory?
Dude,
I'm ready to hear it.
I'm shaking in my boots. The excitement can't hold in much longer.
Okay.
Oh, she gone southern.
I go deep in with my theory, guys, okay? I go super deep. Now, to understand, I have to explain what Diego Garcia is. No, this Diego Garcia is not a person. Well, I'm sure there's a person named Diego Garcia, okay? But the Diego Garcia I'm talking about is an American base site. Now, this site, it isn't as famous as Guantanamo Bay, but Diego Garcia Base is nevertheless a highly active CIA black site. Now, when I say black site, this site is super guarded. The government doesn't talk about it. They acknowledge it and say it exists, but they don't talk about it. They don't allow any citizens or journalists on the island at all. On Guantanamo Bay, they allowed journalists on the island. On this one, they do not at all. Nobody's allowed on it. So, now that we've got that understood, let me tell you a little about where this island is located. So, Diego Garcia is an island located in the Indian Ocean near the island of Kuta Huvadu. Huvadu. It's
I like that.
The same
Okay.
place where they found the piece of... Is this at Malaysia 370?
Yeah, yes. So you remember where we had drinks at?
Yeah.
The Maldives? Yeah, so it is extremely close to there. Like extremely close. Okay, so now keep that in mind. All right? This is what I think. I think the CIA, quote unquote, cyberjacked the MH370. Like they remotely took it over. They shut down all onboard control and they flew the plane to Diego Garcia because they had some interest in a certain passenger, and then all the other passengers were automatically being held as prisoners. Now, what backs this theory up is multiple things, okay? One of the things is that it was spotted near Diego Garcia. Remember when we were in the Maldives having a drink and it flew right over?
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the things that back it up. Another one is one of the captains, the Zahir Ahmed Saha. He had a flight simulator in his home where he was practicing landing a B777 on short runways. And one of those short runways was Diego Garcia's. Which, I mean, after he got done landing it on it, he deleted that pathway from his simulator, but it was recovered later on and announced that he was practicing that on his flight simulator. But if all of this isn't good enough for you, okay, if this isn't good enough for you, I'll have something that blows your socks off, because all of that wasn't good enough for me. I needed something. Now I want you to listen to this shit that I found. So only one of the passengers on MH370 flight was American. This guy was Philip Stone. He was an executive at IBM. All right. You have to follow me here because this gets a little weird. And it sounds a little crazy, but just follow me. So shortly after MH370 went missing, an all-black photo surfaced on a random forum online. Not many people would think much of the all-black random photo showing up online. But this photo had a message attached to it. And it said the following: I have been held hostage by unknown military personnel after my flight was hijacked, blindfolded. I work for IBM and I have managed to hide my cell phone in my ass during the hijack. I have been separated from the rest of the passengers and I am in a cell. My name is Philip Wood. I think I have been drugged as well and cannot think clearly. So many people would brush that off, right? Many people would say, oh, okay, it's somebody LARPing. Well, let me explain something real quick. All photos have location data attached to them. When you take a picture with your cell phone, it creates an EXIF data on it, and it gives coordinates of where that photo was taken at. So somebody on that forum decided to take that black photo that was sent and pull that EXIF data off of it and look at it. Well, not pull it off of it, but see what the EXIF data said it was located. And guess where it was located at? Motherfucking Diego Garcia.
Shut up.
No shit.
So that dude being an IBM worker is smart enough to know that the location data would be on that picture, so he didn't care what it was.
Yes.
It was like his SOS.
Yes.
Oh my god. You know,
Damn.
I didn't dig into Diego Garcia. I put it on I have a side notes thing, and I put it in there to talk about because I read very briefly that Diego Garcia has an underwater base. So I thought we'd probably end up doing an episode on it, so I didn't go into it. But I love that little bit because when that little teaser you just gave about the sketchiness of that Diego Garcia, when we do an actual episode on it, people are going to be egging for that. Because what else is there? Who else is there? Are those people still alive? Are they working? Have they become like slaves of the island?
I don't know. That's
Have you seen Black Mirror?
some episodes.
I'm thinking of the one where they all have to cycle on a bike and they just keep earning points. And then the point system allows them to buy things. And you only get points, I believe, from riding the bike. What if that's like Black Mirror talking about Diego Garcia? That the passengers became slaves and they have to do like meaningless shit to even earn enough for their dinner or something.
I don't mean to take you, but something I just remembered. When I was reading up on MH17, people on where it was shot down over, there was reports in newspapers saying that people were finding body parts, but the body parts were like decomposed already when they found them, which led to the theory that the MH370 was actually MH17, that when MH17 flew over, so MH370 was hijacked, stored at Diego Garcia, and then flew over so the United States could frame Russia for shooting them down and go to war with them. And that the bodies were already decomposed and dead people from MH370. They have similar numbers, MH370, MH17, both Malaysian air flights, both, the 777s. It's weird.
What if they are separate planes, but MH370 was landed? They took passengers off, had them working for a while, maybe a couple months, killed them, put them on MH17 to dispose of the bodies from Diego Garcia, and then shot it to get rid of everybody.
Damn.
Yeah.
And so they just have to put the same type of planes. They get rid of the evidence too. The plane, they shoot that motherfucker down out of the sky.
Yeah.
All right. So
Dan, what do you got?
I did not read your theory, Aaron, but mine kind of ties into yours. Now that you read it and everything, it kind of ties into yours. Because have you looked at the passenger list of the MH370 flight?
I know that majority of them were Chinese nationalists.
So a lot of them were like Chinese calligraphers and artists. They were pretty much like flying back to Beijing from like some type of art meeting or something like that. But, I stumbled upon Philip Wood and I kept reading more about the passengers. Then I came across the 20 staff members technology company from Freescale Semiconductor, which makes powerful microchips for industries, including defense. So that's making me think, kind of connecting with yours, the plane might have been cyberjacked by them taking these guys. They might have been discovering something,
this whole thing is weird. There's so many theories you can go with this. It is like a giant rabbit hole.
Yeah, and to think also, Dan, that the American worked at IBM, which would tie into more people in technology and maybe proprietary information. Like, what did Philip do as his job?
Yeah, I was trying to find that out. I couldn't find anything about what he did. It just said that he was an IBM executive.
Yeah, that's the same thing I found. It's just an IBM executive.
That's probably what they did with the passengers, is they kept ones that can help build stronger security system or defense stuff, like do all the quote unquote nerdy computer stuff and help them get better, and then just off them, or maybe they're keeping them prisoner.
Maybe. We'll never know.
They need a DNA test or something, those body pieces that were decomposed, and see if they match people from MH370.
Thoughts or theories or anything they want to add before we wrap this up?
I think I'm ready for voicemails if you want to roll us into those.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm going to take any flights internationally for a while still.
I know.
That was a couple years ago or 6 years ago.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I already have a fear of flying, so doing this topic was not great for me.
All right. Well, that's the end of the day's episode. We're going to move on to voicemails. All right. So the first one we have is from Hans. We're going to play that right now.
What up? It's your boy Hans. Yes, I did leave you 2 voicemails. One of them I was drunk. Sorry for talking about Bigfoot's dick like that. Anyways, so here I am listening to your show about, dreams. And I don't know if it was a dream I had when I was in the Army, but I got really high on DMT and acid, and might have been drinking too that weekend, but I passed out with all the mental masturbation, and I was flying across the world, and I landed in the Tibetan Flats, where I met with the Dalai Lama, and we talked about life. And suddenly he placed his hand on my forehead, did like a Lion King gesture, Simba'd my ass, and said, "Don't worry, there is another one of you in the world." And I said, "The fuck do you mean?" And all of a sudden my phone rang, and it was my girlfriend, and it made sense. I answered it and said, "Are you fucking pregnant?" And she was like, "Oh my God, why are you yelling?" And "Yeah, how'd you know?" I said, "I have no time to explain. Just know this is a miracle child." And so ever since then, I thought it was either a dream that predicted the future, or I had astroplaned across the world. So, Bigfoot 2020, gotta show you some love, Aaron. You sound, really amazing. I would stroke your fucking face and, rub the back of your head for you any day of the week. And, Daniel, you just keep being sexy. Understand that, fuzzy man peach?
Daniel, you keep being sexy, you fucking fuzzy man peach.
You guys, did we not do this one last week?
No. So we played 2 last week of Hans. So the first one we played, he was out in the deserts of Donahanna, New Mexico at the missile test range. And then the next voicemail we played, he was like, "I just heard that Bigfoot sound." And I was like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, those 2 guys sound familiar. They both started off with the same way. So here I was. They both start off with that line, and not many people start off with that. And that's why I said they sound familiar. I think it's the same people. And then you said, Hans is going to be like, "Why the fuck are you comparing me to my story was real?" And then, so this is Hans. He left a voicemail to say, yeah, it was him on both things. And he was drunk. And sorry for talking about Bigfoot's dick like that. So,
Well, it's just weird because that was a very realistic deja vu, because I knew you were going to requote the last sentence of that guy, the Dan being having a fuzzy peach face, and then the same response, or that I saw that what we just had happen. That's why I asked if we already did it, because I felt like we just did this.
we're aligned with the universe, heading in the correct direction where we are supposed to be heading.
Yes. So it means that we chose the right episode.
Yeah. So thank you, Hans, for that voicemail. I fucking love it. I want you to come stroke my face and my beard and my back, scratch the back of my head and my back and my penis.
Nice.
I definitely got a good visual with your description and your storytelling. So thank you for that.
I'm going to say sexy.
All right. So the next voicemail is from Lawrence. So we're going to play that right now.
Hey guys, greetings from Vancouver, Canada. My name is Lawrence, and I've left you a brief review. 5 stars, of course. Believe me, if I could have given you 6 stars, I would have. Hell, I would have given you 10 stars. I think you guys are awesome. I'll start with you, Aaron. You are so good. Your humor and wit is amazing. You have the best voice. Danielson, Asian sensation. I'm like your brother. I'm half Asian, so I'm my half brother. The other half is Irish. But one of the reasons I wanted to call is because of your new host, this sensation from a different nation who is Croatian, Anna. She is such a good find. She's witty and she's knowledgeable and so fucking funny. I've laughed out loud so many times you have no idea. I found you guys when the whole pandemic started, so it was an awesome find for me. And you have kept my spirits up during this very dark time or uncertain time. And I really want to commend you all. You have a great show. I love your material. I love all of your voices. You're so damn sexy. So keep up the good work. Keep us smiling. And yeah, just keep being you. Take care. I love you all. Bye.
All right, let me know when all of y'all are done crying, and then we'll tell them thank
I
you.
know. That was. I won't start. You guys go ahead. I'll be the last to add on there.
You don't go here?
So thank you, Lawrence. That was a genuine voicemail. I love those. Thank you for your kind words. I'm glad I could provide you with some comfort during the uncertain times. Just thank you. You know, all those words of encouragement, all of that. It really, truly means a lot. And all the hard work that we put into it, the hours and hours, things like that make it worth it. 100%. And I cannot thank you enough for what you said. I love you too.
All I can say is my Asian brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just know I have a little bit of Irish in me too, and it shows in my beard, unfortunately. Comes out all nice and reddish.
I definitely have to say thank you, Lawrence. That was the sweetest message I've gotten since I've joined the show. I really appreciate genuine people, and this is a message that I will personally hold on to and refer back to. And yeah, man, it hit me right in my heart. You had me tearing up. I appreciate the words that you had to say. So thank you so much. I hope to continue to make you laugh. I understand that my humor may not come off to everybody, but the more you get to know me, I think you'll start to get it. So it's super great that you got me right away. I know that you're going to love what we have in the future. So thank you. I love you too, man.
All right. So this next voicemail is from Nathan. So we'll play that right now.
Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. Absolutely love the podcast. Love the conspiracies. Definitely the best one out there. It makes work go really fast. It makes 8.5 hours definitely feel like 2 hours, which is always a good thing. Just reiterating what I messaged you guys on Instagram. I'll be definitely voting for Man Bear Pig instead of Bigfoot for 2020. Sorry, Danielson. I just think his penis is that much bigger and hairier. Therefore, he will be a better leader, naturally, of course. Love the show. Can't wait for future episodes. And yeah, I'll be listening to you guys in the future. Excelsior.
All right, you fucking listen here, Nathan, okay? I can tell you from experience, Man Bear Pig does not have a bigger and hairier penis than Bigfoot, okay? And that is a fact. I've both seen them running wind sprints with fucking boners before through the forest, and Bigfoot was not only faster, but his erect penis was at least 3 inches longer than Man Bear Pig's, okay? And that is 3 inches wider as well. So I don't know what penis you're looking at, but it ain't Man Bear Pig's.
I know Man Bear Pig didn't break my hand. Bigfoot did.
Oh, god damn. But anyways, thank you for the message, Nathan. Thank you for the love and support. We love you. Just keep sending those voice messages. And please check in on the penis of Man Bear Pig. I'm pretty sure you got it confused with Bigfoot's. We have one more voicemail by Shiny Light is the only way I would pronounce this. I don't know. I probably mispronounced it. I apologize. So we're going to play that voicemail right now.
Hey guys, this is Shine Light calling. Just want to tell you guys I love the show, man. Love how you guys go into detail and just really entertaining, you know. And I gotta admit, man, I'm glad you got a new cast. No hate on Kate, but She had to go. But anyway, Daniel's son, Aaron, Anna, keep it up. Dig it. Later.
There is few voices that are unique in this life. And I would say that if Shine Light doesn't have a voice in sports broadcasting or in midnight radio talk show or midnight like oldie stations, he should definitely seek out that profession.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah. I could definitely listen.
Yeah. Shine Light, if you want to submit another voice message, just telling us a story, go ahead.
Dude, I was just thinking, like, he would probably be really good for Audible.
Yes, he would, dude. I would listen to him read a book.
You could, I listen to Headspace, a few nights a week. I would fall asleep to that voice.
But thank you, Shine Light. That's awesome. We appreciate the love. I'm glad we can provide you with good stuff to listen to. So thank you. All right. So now we roll into ratings and reviews. All right. So the first review we have is from Kennifer96. It was left on May 12th. It is 5 stars with a subject line that reads DMT. They go on to say, drove from Charleston, South Carolina to Portland, Maine. And this was awesome to listen to. Thank you, Kennifer96. I did a very similar drive this week, actually. So I feel your pain. The drive sucked.
I can't believe you're even sitting right now.
Yeah, you should see the size of my butthole. Just kidding.
I don't think that's from long seated position.
Yeah, you're right.
And you're supposed to sit in the seat, not on the shifter.
Yeah.
My bad. That's how I was shifting.
That's why the U-Haul was going back and forth.
Anyways, thank you, Kennifer, for the 5 stars and for the love. I'm glad we could provide your ear holes with something great.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. The next one comes from Tiffany Sue. They are from the United States. It's 5 stars and says, very curious, interesting, cool. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany Sue. We love you.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, our next one is from Man20, United States, on May 13th. Supportive UPS driver here with 5 stars. And he says, love the show. I am a UPS driver, and during this pandemic time, I find myself working 6 days a week and upwards of 65 to 70 hours. You guys certainly help my day go by with your funny banter and compelling stories. I was a little disappointed through the first few episodes because I saw most podcasts were over an hour, then realized you spend more than half the time going over emails, voicemails, and reviews. Once I got past that, I was hooked. I